today's session will cover what the RESILIAGE project is all about and how territories across Europe and beyond can participate in the project as what we call associated core labs. We'll find out more about what exactly that means. We'll explore the benefits of joining and how you can get involved. We're fortunate to have two great speakers with us today to guide us through this session. First, we'll hear from Rosa Tamburino, who is full professor of architectural history at the Politecnico di Torino, Polito, and coordinator of the RESILIAGE project. Rosa will provide an overview of the project, which focuses on building sustainable, resilient communities by leveraging local heritage. And next, we will hear from Irina Pavlova, who is a senior project officer at UNESCO's Natural Science Sector, specializing in environmental sciences, natural hazards, and climate change adaptation. Irina will discuss the call for associated core labs and cover eligibility criteria and the benefits of participation. And after their presentations, we'll open the floor to you for Q&A session. You're welcome to ask questions through the Q&A feature about any project details, eligibility criteria, or the application process. Whatever comes to your mind, now is the time to ask your questions. And with that, I'm going to hand over the floor to our first speaker, Rosa. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Zara. Welcome to all. I will try, yes, welcome to our project. The name of our project is RESILIAGE or RESILIAGE, as you prefer, is a created name. The title of our project is a sort of narratives that create the scope of the project, and this is the title. My task here to try to introduce you in this project, to provide some information about our project. The title is sort of narrative of what we are going to do also with other participation. We aim to better understanding community resilience, because we think that there are several factors that are important for assessing resilience and enhancing resilience. And these factors also include cultural, historical factors. And for this reason, we explore heritage drivers, and we do so through community-based methodologies. Methodologies are especially important in our project for trying to foster new kind of approaches to enhance community resilience. And in our project, we have several partners, 18 partners coming from many countries of Europe and beyond, and they are multi-stakeholders of disaster risk management, because we have included the first responders, such as the Red Cross, firefighters. We, among our partners, we have also local authorities, geoparks, museum, research centers, and also association of citizens that are especially relevant for creating this kind of approach to based on the needs of communities, and also some small enterprise. And the mission is to work together to explore and to act to enhance societal resilience. And we aim to do these kind of actions by directly engaging local communities. And we have a multi-hazard vision, and especially we consider that we can we can leverage heritage as a real strong resource of local communities. So what we'll do is to try to increase, to build this kind of new knowledge, and especially to foster preparedness of all society to contrast the situation related with natural hazards in a time of climate change, in a period where when we know the increased situation, worsening situation related with climate change. And for doing so, we also co-create with our local communities digital tools and soft solutions. Our vision is that it's very important to build a culture of resilience rooted at local level. We would like to enhance public awareness and to foster a collaboration among different actors for implementing disaster risk reduction. And with this vision, the ambition is to increase the societal preparedness and enhancing community engagement through heritage. Some key information is related with the focus that we have established on some vulnerable groups that this kind of hazards don't provide the same kind of issues to all all groups, all the population. So we should be aware about inequalities, and we also consider the need to create solutions that are provide support to a digital society, but also can provide the solution not digital, we say soft to say methodologies, trainings, other kind of important solution, and build together some strategies for dealing with the future in a better way. So this is a general idea of our project, and providing different kind of activities across the 3 years project. And as you can see by this schema, the idea is to create different kind of tools, a different kind of possible solution for dealing with different and diverse situations in different contexts, by considering that there could be very different issues related with web, related with digital education, and so on. So this yellow part here is related with what we say the real world, because we make research, we make deal with analysis, we consider important fostering research, but what we think that is very important for boosting this kind of approach is working in the real world. The real world is related with real disaster, crisis, the effects of climate, and also heritage in real life. For this reason, we work with our community resilience laboratories. We say core labs because they are at core of RESILIAGE project. We have already activated 5 core labs with networks. Each core lab includes several representatives, but also some other enlarged network of participants that provide different kind of voices that are important at the local level. And we, our idea is to foster this collaboration and to create local toward global engagement in the implementation of disaster risk reduction. In short, our laboratories that are Karshaka in Turkey, where the public administration, the local authority, the municipality is our first stakeholder. Trondheim in Norway, where the Red Cross is our first stakeholder. And we have in Portugal Naturtejo Geopark with the network of small villages around in the geopark, and in Crete, Crete, with the museum, the University Science Museum, and the network. And finally, we have also another geopark in Belgium, Ardennes, that is a huge region with border specification related with issues related with more than one countries. This is the network of participants of the activities. So, in short, we have this situation with this, we have created this picture with the different kind of specific focus for each core labs, because they are related with some main hazard: heat waves, landslide, wildfire, earthquakes, floods. Obviously, these are some important specification, but generally they also can exchange more knowledge related with different kind of hazard and crisis related to the effects of some disaster. They are related with real situation, real scenarios, and provide the possibility to exchange knowledge and create peer learning activities. An important aspect is that we are working with local languages. We think that local languages are very important for working together for activating, engaging the local stakeholders. So this is one of the languages that we are using, and we work with learning by this scale, the local scale, and trying to understand it together with the communities, the real human interaction among people, citizens, and their places, and cultural natural heritage of that has shaped the places. In this case, you can see how the then Geopark has activated a network, and they are working for leveraging their heritage and condition of hazard toward enhancing community resilience. So this community resilient, these resilient communities are the scope at the core of a RESILIAGE project. And with these communities, we foster several activities for co-building and empowering communities, also with specific important aims, such as, for example, empowering women within these communities, because empowering women also mean, in many situations, empowering the communities, the overall communities. And we also consider important creating some support to this community through the possibilities of a digital society. So we are creating a resource ecosystem. We have created this. We are feeding this resource ecosystem that is a digital platform, open digital platform, with several digital tools for endorsing the local communities in their real setting with their specific problems, and creating a knowledge that is important at local level, but can be also exchanged with other kind of issues in other places. So this platform provide access to several tools. We have tools for different kind of support and use for enhancing individual and collective awareness, for monitoring actions, enhancing preparedness plans, for trying to support decision makers, for also for representing in a multi-atlas the diversity of the situation and interactions with the heritage and the narratives coming from this heritage. And finally, we have a core digital network with different kind of target groups, especially interested by the project, that create the possibility to interact as in a forum, in a chat, but also exchange information, both at the local level among the community, and also exchanging information with other core labs. And we have activated this kind of tools also for creating engagement and connecting the actors of disaster risk reduction by considering that local heritage, the heritage that is relevant for local communities with their values, with their specification, could really create an important cohesion, important way to interact and to go together toward the implementation of disaster risk management. And we are engaging youth and early stage researchers to work with core labs, also in remote activities, in order to create, to provide more ideas, to support our core labs. We are engaging more experts. We provide exercise, and we engage people with same webinars and other kind of activities open through the web. So I think this is a picture of how we think that RESILIAGE can, in a way, in a word, resilience plus heritage, revolutionize community resilience. I hope that this kind of information can foster a discussion and your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I leave the floor.
Yes, we give the floor directly to Irina, not to lose any time, but just a quick reminder to our attendees that you may use the Q&A function even during the webinar if you come up with questions, and we will get to them at the end after the next presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Zara. Greetings, dear attendees. So I'm Irina Pavlova from UNESCO's Natural Science Sector. Just a few words to say that UNESCO joined this project, RESILIAGE Project, because the topic resonates a lot with organizations' mandate in natural sciences. Because UNESCO supports its member states for comprehensive disaster risk management and disaster risk reduction in a holistic way. And at local level, we work with communities, and we do it a lot through UNESCO designated sites, UNESCO Global Geoparks, Biosphere Reserves, and World Heritage Sites. So when we saw this project that systemize and through the scientific methodology, this role of heritage for community resilience, it echoed echoed a lot with organizations' ongoing actions in the field and on the ground. So UNESCO joined the project as work package lead, and naturally we're leading tasks related to building awareness and resilience in Europe and beyond. So these are tasks that are related to capitalizing on RESILIAGE methodologies and lessons learned. And we're bringing these results to further level, being a vehicle to bring these results to policymakers and talk about implementation of such methodologies at international and EU policy frameworks. And the second part, it's bringing further capacities outside of the consortium. So this is why one of UNESCO's led task, is to foster exchanges and stimulate cross-sectorial exchanges of ideas. And one of ways to do it, it's through RESILIAGE core associated labs, through joining this modality. And in the next slides, I will tell you a bit more of insights. What does it exactly mean? So first, let's first define to whom the call is addressed. So as Rosa presented, RESILIAGE explores resilience in a very holistic perspective and through various angles. And RESILIAGE community unites different backgrounds and responsibilities within disaster risk management cycle, and in particular in its prevention phases. So first, we are addressing to first and secondary responders, giving them insights and different perspectives on how heritage could be seen as more active actor, not during maybe emergencies, but during the preparedness and prevention phases. From the other hand, RESILIAGE deals with heritage actors, heritage sector, both cultural and natural. So we're working a lot with UNESCO Global Geoparks, biospheres, but not only, with heritage sites as well, to sensibilize them about and making them more confident how through community actions they could be, again, the part of this disaster risk management cycle. Then RESILIAGE is a research innovation project, so it focuses a lot on methodological aspects. We have very strong academic partners, and these insights, methodological insights, could be potentially interesting for academia, research organizations, for educational sectors. And lastly, this mixture of concepts, disaster risk related, climate change related, community, and so on, it's interesting for policymakers at different levels, at national, at regional, but also at EU and international. And UNESCO, well, is happy to be there, giving the platform for exchanges for the policymakers. Of course, citizens and civil society actors are natural allies, natural part of communities of RESILIAGE. Without them, of course, all these good ideas will stay only in theory. So if you find yourself within among these groups, and you feel being interested to strengthen the resilience of your community through peer learning and various tools, I'm very much encouraging you to apply to become associated core lab. What does it mean in practice? So again, RESILIAGE is innovation and research project that gather expertise from recognized research and academia centers all over Europe. It's led by Politecnico di Torino, and it started in 2023 and already delivers several considerable analytical and methodological results. So being associated core lab, you will have an access, of course, to all methodologies, but some also internal details. And you will also have opportunities, because we're still in the development stage of methodologies, to be a part of methodological co-creation, co-development process, and the voices from territories, from your territory, will be heard in the co-design of methodologies and solutions. Another way to gain insights and knowledge and lessons, it would be through communication, through discussions with the RESILIAGE community, and with direct interaction with the team and project partners. So the idea is based on your territory's interest to pair you with thematic experts from one side, and another with practitioners from core labs on the other side. So it will be really customized discussions based on your territory needs. In terms of resources, at your availability, Rosa presented you that RESILIAGE is developing a number of tools for resilience building. This covers, from one side, digital tools, monitoring toolkit, replication toolbox, supporting set, but also soft solutions, so various guidelines. And all these tools will be covered under the umbrella of so-called resource ecosystem. Under the resource ecosystem, Rose mentioned, there would be an important tool for you. It's Core Digital Network, where we are aiming to create a dedicated space for networking and exchanges among you and other core labs. So speaking about networking and visibility, we consider really that associated core labs as a part of RESILIAGE family, community. So the information about the territories, it would be, of course, uploaded on the website. There would be dedicated space. During also various dissemination and advocacy events at international, at the EU level. Here you see our session at last May Civil Protection Forum. So we will, of course, include examples from your territories, from associated core labs, into the pool of our showcased good practices. To further intensify interactions between associated core labs and RESILIAGE community, associated core labs will be invited to selected RESILIAGE events. Most of them would be online. It's a modus operandum since COVID, but there would be several in-presence meeting, notably final conference in Paris in spring-summer 2026, where we'd be happy to hear about your lessons learned within the RESILIAGE. Now to sum up, a few words about indicative timeline and milestone, how we are considering this activity. So call for application is open until 31st of October. We will spend some weeks to evaluate applications, and you will be informed by December. And real work will start as of January 2025 with a welcome webinar, and the January-March period, we will be, it will be more introduction part. We will be collecting information about your territories, presenting you to experts, starting to understand what's your challenges and potential interest within the project. Then the main part, there would be two stages, let's say. First, it's spring-summer time 2025. Workshops on needs and gaps identification, of course, proceed by baseline understanding of your territory. And the second part, it would be together with our experts, try to identify heritage elements that could become a part of disaster risk management cycle and development and maybe even implementation of actions for improved preparedness. Actions will last throughout the project that ends in September 2026. So again, the final ultimate goal milestone will be to meet in Paris to introduce to each other the results of this intense work. In terms of applications, so you can use this QR code, and maybe Zara can share again the link in the chat. So it's a simple filling in an online application form. It's available in several languages, and I really hope that through Rosa's presentation and my explanation that we motivate you to apply it and give you some appetite to learn more about RESILIAGE. And with that, I give it back to Zara and happy to reply to any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Irina. Great. Okay, so thanks a lot. I see that the Q&A function works, so please, yes, feel free to ask any questions. I think we got a really nice overview here from Rosa and Irina, but I'm sure that, yeah, there are some follow-up questions, so go ahead and ask them. Also, I will send an email address in the chat in case someone has issues here, so you can use that as well. And while we wait for the audience to come up with questions, I would perhaps already have a first question or yeah, a request for some further elaboration. You talked about target groups in terms of who would be eligible to apply as a core associated lab, but you do not specify any territorial or regional focus. So could you just talk a little bit about, are there any limitations or any particular focus on which countries are targeted here? For example, is it from the core lab countries or others?
I leave the floor to Irina first because she's leading this task, and I'd like to listen from her.
Thank you. Good point. Geographical scope. Let's start. So geographical scope is pretty wide. We, of course, the first big region that what we find will be very appropriate, of course, it's European territories in a large sense. So EU countries, but also ENP neighborhood countries, Caucasus, maybe south of Mediterranean, because here, it feels like a joint, cultural region, let's say, and we have a lot of experience to exchange and learn from each other. We have 5 countries of core labs, but there are another 13 partners from other countries all over Europe. So where we have a very good coverage, country and country speaking. So we're not limited to core labs. We are really open to, and it makes to us sense to enlarge actually the pool of our countries involved, again, to simulate the exchanges and so on. And the second actually region that we are thinking about, it's Latin America. And we will have a dedicated session in Spanish next Monday, because again, we think that there are an approach and on how in this paradigm, how we see heritage being active actor within territorial development and towards sustainable development of urban and rural areas. These two, European and Latin America regions have a lot of similarities. So again, it's in a spirit of exchanges, learning from each other. So territories from, mainly these 2 regions, but not exclusively, are very welcome. Just another practical thing, that would facilitate exchanges. We decided to limit our exchanges, well, the main language, working language, will be English. So this is kind of be a potential limitation, at least working understanding of English. And there would be the second subgroup for Latin America. So yeah, potentially joining them in Spanish.
Yes, maybe if I can add also something is related with the digital tools that we are developing that provide the possibility to switch language in automatic translation with some controlled dictionary. So for important words, some of them are being already developed also in 5 languages plus English, so at the moment 6 languages, and we can also maybe provide at least one other important language in the world is obviously Spanish, so we are ready to provide also this in Spanish. We didn't provide in Italian at the moment because also if as coordinator we are Italian, but could be another option. But in any case, we have, as Irina explained, we have several partners that speak several languages, so coming from different countries, so they can be also facilitators. We ask to have a stakeholder, direct stakeholder that can work in English because for the cross-cutting activities. At a local level, there is the possibility to use materials in the documentation and also tools in various languages. And obviously, we have some partner that also speak specific language, and they can interact more directly if you can use the same language. But also in this case, there is the possibility of automatic translation. The tool that Irina has shown, Core Digital Network, is a tool for creating this network of networks, creating exchanges, so information also among peers and so on. So this could be used also by directly interacting with various languages.
Thank you, Rosa and Irina. I think that was a very detailed response, and it kind of answered some other questions as well about language. So would webinars during the project period be only in English? So I think that was answered, that it would be working language, but we would have a subgroup for Spanish speakers as well, or we aim to have one, and we have these options for translations, etc. So I will continue. We have quite a few questions now, so I take them one by one. How many hours do you estimate will be needed if one joins the project, or do you participate as much as you have time for?
Yes, very good point. Thanks a lot for these questions. And there, some of them are linked also. We were estimating that, well, it will be amazing having one at least person from organization who would follow the red line and activities throughout the project. So it's engagement, volunteer commitment to be engaged. I would say at least, well, we're speaking about maximum 1 day per month in total. Maybe, well, it will be sometimes less, sometimes a bit more. So it's, well, your time, your staff time on collecting some information, participation in webinars, participation in bilateral calls, and yeah, depending on your territory, your organization capacities, how in depth you would like to go into designing actions and searching ways maybe even to implement. But and there is another question about the co-financing, for example, required. There is no co-financing required, but just again to clarify it from our side, well, this type of partnership, of collaboration, it's we call them associated core labs, so it's not full partners. At this project, there are no funding foreseen directly. There are small funds for travel, for example, or for participation in the workshop that we foreseen. This, yes, but at this stage, yeah, these are limits that we have. We're giving the expertise. Again, we hope that it will create a lot of exchanges, interest that would eventually lead to new projects where we'll be super happy for that. But within this project, yeah, it's no engagement, of course, financial from your side, engagement for your time and interest and, well, goodwill of cooperation. That translates, I would say, again, maximum 1 day per month. Could be less, maybe a bit more intense toward the end of the.
We lost Irina.
We lost Elena, but
You're back.
But
okay.
I'm done at the same time. Yes, thank you.
Rosa, were you going to add anything?
Not, we can provide invitation to activities that we develop also beyond these specific activities related with the engagement of associated core labs. I think that we can invite volunteers that would like, for example, to test and to participate in online activities of co-creation. We can associate to some internal meetings related with discussing and finalizing some strategies. So there is this possible opportunity, but it's not mandatory. This is an aspect that can add value to our project with different kind of perspectives. For this reason, we would like also multiply, include more countries, more cultures, more situation. And I have read also a question related with how many hazards are included in one participation, one focus. Well, as we consider that is irrelevant in the analytical research to focus especially on one hazard for each core lab that are included in the project. But for your side, you can be part of different kind of discussion, different kind of analysis, different kind of information. And there is a prioritization that is especially needed for providing more specific information for feeding tools, feeding solution, but as an outcome, and we know that there are several of these problems are related to others, so there is not this kind of request.
Great, thank you, Rosa, for clarifying that.
Sorry, but maybe the only things that we can add is that our focus is related with natural hazards and related with climate change issues. This kind of specification of disaster hazard vulnerabilities, exposures.
Great, thank you. One more question, practical question on who can apply: local governments within global geoparks, NGOs, geopark coordinators.
If I can take it, all listed above, where really it depends on. So in RESILIAGE, we're working with different entities. So, and well, we work with geoparks, but we work with municipalities, and it's really up to the interest and, well, really arrangements from your territory side. what we are asking for, and it's written in the requirements of the call. So it's, well, engagement, of course, interest in the topic, ideally knowledge, good knowledge about or your cultural, natural heritage assets, or problematic of disasters and natural hazards at your territory. And it will be amazing if it's coupled and your stakeholder or yourself as a focal point, you are aware and have an overview picture of heritage and natural hazards at your territory, because it will be, well, again, the format of these actions. We do not have capacities, for example, to, and it's not the aim of the project, to make, for example, risk assessment. So you should already know the minimum about, again, your territory, and we bring it toward, well, new disaster risk management level. In terms of what type of well, organization it would be, it's really flexible, and we will be supportive, and we have experience working with different kind of organizations. So it's really upon your comfort, arrangements. It's just what we're requesting is yeah, your motivation and engagement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah, maybe I'd like to answer to a question that is related with the long perspective. No, that is this. That is. Thank you for your question. That I really appreciate this. The going beyond the project, and this is really the main challenge of a research project. And this is also the real important reason for my personal involvement in this kind of project, because we would like to have an impact on society. And I am a professor from many years, for professor, and so we work at universities. We have very interesting theoretical exchanges and so on. But what is very important in this kind of European research project is creating an impact in society. And for this kind of impact, I totally agree that we need to have a long-term perspective. So for this reason, we stressed also in this communication this core digital network, because the core digital network, through this first step of associating other core laboratories working together, create a long-term perspective of changes. And this is beyond me, beyond us, beyond the duration of the project, because it created the possibility to interact at local level as a network that doesn't exist, because there aren't tables for discussing at the local level among different kind of stakeholders of disaster risk management, and creating the perspective of the changes among different kind of countries and local communities, not theoretically, but real local communities that have created a link during this project, a tool for creating this kind of perspective. I think that fostering the dialogue among stakeholders is the first step for a longer-term perspective.
If I could add a couple of words again from maybe UNESCO perspective, that for us, it's an UNESCO mandate again in natural sciences. It's to strengthen member states' capacities to deal with natural hazards in a holistic, sustainable manner. So we translated that, of course, these research innovation projects are pieces of puzzle to strengthen the cooperation between researchers, practitioners, and territories. We work a lot, and I see some participants come, yes, from UNESCO networks, from geoparks, biosphere reserves. That's also within UNESCO mandate to strengthen the capacities to cope with issues at these sites. And we are trying to bring within the network the ones who are active, but also vulnerable, in need, and give them more capacities. Again, and it's that's what was said a few times. We see this associated core labs. It's a way to be closer to to become again in another circle of networking, of being at the heart of brainstorming of top research and innovation projects funded by European Union. That definitely brings in one way or another further opportunities, because just being frank with Rosa, it's been 5 years, I think, that we are collaborating within different projects and stakeholders and case studies that are with us. I mean, there are always ways to collaborate, and just knowing what we're aiming for, which is strengthening resilience of our communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks to both of you. I think this concludes actually our Q&A session, and I think it's a great place to end the webinar. So thank you to our speakers for your nice presentations and your responses to all these questions. And then thank you to all participants, of course, for tuning in and for your interest in joining the project. I sent the link to the application form for core associated labs in the chat. It's a simple Google form, so go ahead and check it out. You would also find it on the RESILIAGE webpage as well. And with that, yes, we hope to hear from some of you, and to keep in touch, and wishing you all a nice day, and stay safe and well. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.